Ah, yes, Wednesday edition of Schein Time. How about LeBron James? The Lakers taking commanding and stunning 2-0 lead on Kevin Durant and the Rockets. Wow, another day, another Mets loss. 12 in a row. Last night, the worst of them all. And we are 1 day away from the NFL draft. We answer the 9 burning questions. Schein Time starts right now.
Don't stop. Keep it coming, baby. Don't stop.
Quick first step, reverse dunk. He still does that, by the way.
I live for this moment. I live for the postseason. I've been doing this since I was 21. I think my first postseason game was 21. And so 20 years. You know, I know I missed it a couple of times, but from that moment at 21, that first game, I made my mark. And for 20 years, I've been thinking about the postseason. So I don't shy away from it.
How about LeBron James? Are you kidding me? The fact that LeBron James is doing this at his age, I mean, take a second, celebrate, appreciate. We are witnessing unprecedented greatness when it comes to the king doing this at the age of 41 years old. Every time I see these highlights, I have to just jog the mental Rolodex and remember LeBron James is in his 40s. The athleticism, precision, domination, Father Timely, absolutely. How about LeBron James? The Lakers are up 2-0 on Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. And honestly, you could color me obsessed. James was unbelievable. His outside shooting, his poise, his presence, his do-everything mentality last night, the way he got his teammates involved. James last night, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Remarkable. This team was rightly left for dead after Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves were done for the season. And seemingly the season died in Oklahoma City at the end of the regular season. I always tell you when I'm right. I always tell you when I'm wrong. I was wrong on J.J. Redick's approach at the end of the regular season. I actually scolded him and ripped him here on Schein Time for what he did ultimately at the end of the day. When you take a look at what transpired after that OKC home game, and he just absolutely torched his team, ripping the lack of effort when they were playing a bunch of G Leaguers on the court. Turns out, J.J. Redick was right. And LeBron and company, they are dialed in, they are focused. When James did that last night, that dunk, I mean, it just went absolutely bonkers when you listen to the crowd in Los Angeles last night. I couldn't get enough. James was absolutely locked in. You take a look at what Marcus Smart was able to do. Incredible. I mean, no Doncic, no Reeves last night, no problem. Marcus Smart obviously has a chip. Marcus Smart hit 5 threes. Marcus Smart stepped up. Marcus Smart is an elite, incredible defensive ball player. What he did on Kevin Durant was just incredible. Durant last night was nondescript, and I think that's the right way to phrase it. 23 points. He only hit 7 shots from the field, only 1 3-pointer. And when you look at Smart, I mean, Durant last night, 9 turnovers in the 18 possessions where Marcus Smart defended him. That is unbelievable. Smart had 25 points, 5 3-pointers, 7 assists last night. This was just an unbelievable job by the LA Lakers, and give Marcus Smart all the credit in the world. And I think Luke Kennard needs to change his name to Luka Kennard. I mean, what is going on with Luke Kennard? He's always been a reliable offensive player, excellent role player, always felt like he was a winning ball player, and he is. 23 points last night after 27 in game number 1. Incredible. And we're now at a stage, and I tell you I was wrong on the J.J. Redick approach. I'm wrong on picking this series, and I'm thrilled to be wrong. And you know that I said the Lakers, when everyone was healthy, Lakers would play OKC in the Western Conference Finals. I love J.J. Redick, love what LeBron James has done this year, love what Doncic and Reeves were doing, but with Doncic and Reeves out, changed everything. And I thought Houston was going to win this series in 5. Man, I am thrilled for the amazing, diehard, passionate fans of the LA Lakers. Absolutely thrilled that I was wrong. This series is over. There's no way that the Rockets, a sloppy basketball team, they play with their food way too often. There is no way that the Rockets are going to win on simple math for the next 5. Lakers and Houston, I think, will split in Houston, and you are going to see ultimately the Lakers have a golden opportunity to win in 5 games. I mean, we're at that kind of stage. But I think we all need to do something supremely important here. Just celebrate LeBron James. Look, I think sometimes, especially if you're like me, you're in the camp that it's Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time, and frankly, I don't even consider it a debate, where if you say that, you're all of a sudden branded as a LeBron James hater. I love LeBron James. LeBron James, to me, is the second greatest player in the history of the NBA. The fact that he's doing this and stepping up like that is remarkable. LeBron James is unbelievable. And listening to him in that clip that we played to start the show, the appreciation that he has for this journey, it's unreal. Think about when he was in high school. Think about when he was drafted by Cleveland. Think about the kid out of Akron. Think about all the championships. And think about what he's doing now. And during the regular season, let's be honest, there were no signs of this kind of level of LeBron James. He was all season long the third best player on the LA Lakers, which tracks, right? He's 40 years old. Man, that was unbelievable. And the way LeBron played, the way he put his stamp on game 1 distributing, the way he put his stamp on game number 2, being an alpha dog, dominant, that dunk was unreal. How about LeBron James? I just, at this stage, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for J.J. Redick, who should have been top 3 for Coach of the Year. This is unbelievable, unprecedented greatness. When you look at what James is doing at this stage of his career, unreal stuff. I can't get enough. Lakers are absolutely going to win this series. To San Antonio, where the Spurs came into game number 2 of their series with the Blazers looking strong. But that all changed with this scary moment where Wemby went down.
Walk-in 3 here.
Wemby thought about walking into one as well. Moving on, Holiday, trying to pull the chair, get out of the way. Wembanyama to the deck. Watch this go into break. So, and you'd say that for that purpose, you see. Ooh, heavy hit.
Man.
Shin first. To Vassell for the tie. Out there and no. It's deflected. Final seconds. The Blazers will win.
Mike Tirico on the call last night for NBC. And by the way, that's actually part of this, right? I mean, NBC has basketball back, the NBA back for the first time in decades. And it went noted that they assigned the A crew, Mike Tirico, Reggie Miller, to the Spurs and the Trailblazers. You wouldn't see that from other networks in the past, where you put their A team on markets like Portland and San Antonio. You do that because of Victor Wembanyama. And he is absolutely sensational. And when you saw him leave that game and he got concussed, honestly, as a sports fan, my heart sank. And now you need to understand, with Victor Wembanyama in concussion protocol, that's a 48-hour deal. And you see this hit right here. Oh, I can't even look at that. I mean, it's tough to stare at. And Victor Wembanyama is such an unbelievable ball player. And to see him and his head hit the court like that, just brutal. Now, you look at what happened in the game, and Scoot Henderson went off, and he had 31 points. And you look at Portland, and, you know, obviously there's a team that has overachieved all year. And they dealt with the Chauncey Billups insanity brilliantly when you take a look at how Thiago Splitter, the former San Antonio Spur, was able to step in and be the head coach. I love what I'm seeing from the Portland Trailblazers. And remember, I picked the Spurs to win this series in 6 because I think Scoot is unbelievable. I think Denny's unreal. Drew Holiday, you saw him dominate. He's such a smart winning ball player down the stretch. You saw what Grant was able to do. Klingon, the former UConn star, he's an excellent, excellent big. So I'm not surprised that Portland won. That was sheer chaos down the stretch of that game. Kind of wild and pretty awesome to watch. Great night in the association. I don't think there's any question about that. But I'll tell you, seeing Wemby get hurt, that was absolutely brutal. And now when you start talking about the brain and you start talking about concussions and concussion protocol, I mean, it's impossible right now to go into the crystal ball and predict anything. And as someone who believed that the Blazers matched up pretty well in this series and they would take a couple of games, all bets are officially off. We need to see Wemby, most especially beyond basketball, be A-OK. Need to see if he gets cleared for game number 3. Need to see if he is able to play like Victor Wembanyama. Needs to see if he could play game 3, game 4. But all of a sudden, the Portland Trail Blazers are alive, and they might just be alive and well. To baseball now, where we've officially reached cliche status with one team. Death, taxes, and a Mets loss.
How much of a kind of a shock is it that you're sitting here now with your 12th consecutive loss?
Sucks. It sucks because you're feeling good, especially with the way the game was developing there. But then after that, we couldn't do anything else.
Nobody's feeling it more than us players. I mean, guys are showing up early, getting to work in, and everybody's working their butts off, so it stings to go out there and not be able to get it done.
Every day is a new day, right? We have a chance to, win a game every day. But yeah, I mean, right now everyone knows the situation. It's just kind of stacking on top of each other.
We are very aware of it, but at the end of the day, every day is new. We got to come out and bring it, and it's one of those where you know what's happening, and everybody has the energy of winning and trying to do their best. You just got to learn from it and then move on.
Look at what you did to this kid. Look at him. Look how sad he is. Imagine being a Mets fan. Imagine being this kid. I want to sit down and interview this kid. I think he needs a pep talk. I mean, this is wild. And here's the deal. The game was over last night. You heard that first clip of the factory of sadness, of sound that we put together because, I mean, what else can we do at this stage? Carlos Mendoza, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And let me tell you what sucks. The fact that David Stearns went out this offseason and signed Devin Williams. And I have been so outspoken on this and so right on this. And I just wonder, I know the Mets are on SNY. At any point, did anyone in Queens turn on Yes just one time during the season last year? Did anyone watch the highlights of Devin Williams? I just don't understand it. Of course, Devin Williams in the 9th inning was terrible. Of course, he's getting booed off the mound. And every Yankee fan who saw that was saying, I've seen that before. There's a reason why you have bags over your heads. There's a reason why you can't watch this. Devin Williams, a walk, a steal, ducks on the ponds, a ball that just gets over an infielder's glove. That's literally what he did with the Yankees all last year, and the Mets should know that. They were the team that broke them with Pete Alonso. I remember saying last year when Devin Williams was there, just get him to a small market. I still think he can pitch. I still think he can close. But why would the Mets bring him in? And this goes back to David Stearns and the plan. There was none. They have money, but they just threw it around haphazardly. There was no method to the madness. This was a live reaction of this kid when he found out that Devin Williams was going to be the closer. I mean, my goodness, it's awful. And by the way, and I don't say this, okay, as a hot take, the season's over. And when I say the season's over, I mean it is literally unprecedented in the history of Major League Baseball for a team to make the playoffs after losing 12 games. It's never happened. Never happened. No team in baseball history has ever made the postseason after suffering a 12-game losing streak during the regular season. The season is over. It's done. I'm not saying that as a way to rile you up. It's never happened before in the history of baseball. And here's what's crazy. The game felt over in a good way yesterday. My guy Nolan McLean was absolutely dealing. No hitting the Minnesota Twins. Then he gives up a homer. Should have been the end of the world, right? Buxton's a terrific, terrific ball player. Bam! And I don't know about you, but you kind of felt like, oh, great. You can't make this up. The Mets can't hit. The Mets, at the end of the day, can't win. And you know you're in trouble when admin social from the Minnesota Twins is tweeting this. Things you can get in a dozen. Eggs, roses, Mets losses. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. But the season's over. We haven't even hit the Jets or Giants draft yet. And the season's over. It's done. I mean, you're going to have to trade Bo Bichette. Like, this is what we're talking about here. And, you know, it's like when you have to rank your kids. Nobody wants to do that. You don't do that. It's not a real thing. Rank who you blame? Yes! Everybody! Would I fire Mendoza? Yes! Yes! The team has no fundamentals. He sounds like Art Howe. He has no idea what's going on. Also, the Mets' plan is atrocious. $360 million for this nonsense? Are you kidding me? They have two pitchers in the rotation who are legit. The rest, you have no idea. The lineup is amateur hour. I'll never forgive Stearns for how he treated Pete Alonso. Like, I never understood that. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan. You know who I want to play in first base for my baseball team? Pete Alonso. Because he is a prodigious slugger. He's phenomenal. And the Mets treated him like a piece of garbage. Didn't even want him. Like he was an also-ran. How's first base looking right now for the Mets? I bet this kid owns an Alonso jersey. The hell is going on here? Like, this is wild. I mean, you could have made a case last night if you're a Mets fan. When it's this 3-0 in the sixth inning, I'm done watching the game. We got one, feel good. The game was over. Juan Soto's back tonight. Is that going to mean anything? How about no? Vibes are certainly different with the other New York team. Giancarlo Stanton and the Bombers took care of business in their first matchup with the rival Boston Red Sox.
You like a dead center, 378 or whatever it is, or left center. So that's usually where a lot of my power is. But yeah, it's just a unique overall. It's taking some homers away too, and yeah, it's just a cool place.
Red Sox owner John Henry better check the deed because it's Giancarlo Stanton who owns the Boston Red Sox. Listen, I can't get enough here. When you look at Giancarlo Stanton and who he is and what he does specifically against the Red Sox in New England's living room, he hit a prodigious blast, a moonshot homer, and then a monster needed, put the game away, 2-run double, which was huge. And Big G is unreal in these kind of spots, and that's how you ultimately judge someone like Giancarlo Stanton in the middle of this Yankee lineup. And I'll tell you, I was so impressed with what Hill did last night. I mean, the Red Sox lineup is awful. It's atrocious. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. But there's still a bit right now of a question of trust when it comes to Hill on the bump, right? I think that's fair if you're a Yankee fan. Hill owned the hill. I mean, he was untouchable last night. In command, in control, spotted his pitches brilliantly. The eye level, everything was perfect. Loved the energy, the efficiency. This was absolutely terrific here. And you look at the American League East standings, look who's in first. Look who's in last. You look at the Yankees right now, and if you're a Yankees fan, you're feeling great. Not to mention the fact that you have Max Fried on the bump tonight. And Suarez going for Boston, and I think the Yankees will be able to take another one from the Boston Red Sox. I am feeling great here as a fan of the Yankees. There's nothing like Yankees-Red Sox. It's my favorite rivalry in all of sports, and that's right now, at the end of the day, if you're a Yankee fan getting that kind of win last night with the pitching matchups the next two nights, called an opportunity, dare I say, in Beantown, to bust out the brooms. Meanwhile, don't look now, but the defending champs have lost 3 of 4. And never to be one at a loss for words, new manager Tony Vitello of the Giants on beating the Dodgers.
What does a win like this do, just as far as continuing to build the momentum that you did on the road?
I think it, you know, I don't want to say solidifies it, but it kind of gives you a boost if you already were thinking good about those things. But also it gives you permission to be confident. And, you know, if we're going to get into Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or the very, very Walter Payton, for me when I was younger, those guys don't need the win column or statistics or permission to be confident. It's an undying thing, and that's ideal. But maybe even for those guys, you're still human. You need the feedback to know that you're doing the right thing and to feel good about it. Otherwise, you start to doubt it.
I mean, who knew that a Giants win over the Dodgers would evoke commentary on Kobe Bryant and Walter Payton? But here we are. And I like Vitello. I root for Vitello. Half the time he can't get out of his own way. And hey, if Yankees-Red Sox is my favorite rivalry, this is number 2. And Dodgers-Padres has a lot of juice, and I'd probably put that in my top 4 or 5 rivalries in baseball. But in terms of history and tradition and real hate, there's nothing quite like the Dodgers and the Giants from a National League standpoint. And all of a sudden, based upon the Rockies series and the result last night with the Giants topping L.A., you now have the Padres and the Dodgers tied for first, 16-7. By the way, this is not a fluke. And I still think the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. Dodgers win the division. Dodgers win the World Series. Padres are legit, and you know that they're going to be very active come trade deadline. They always are. By the way, Mason Miller, season ended today. It doesn't. He would be my pick for the National League Cy Young. What he is doing right now is unbelievable, and I'll tell you, the Dodgers are going to be just fine. But for a night, I was happy for Tony Vitello and for all Giants fans. And buckle up. This rivalry, it's one of those you throw everything out the window. Ohtani on the bump tonight. Can't wait to see him work. Can't wait to see him pitch. I think the Dodgers bounce back. I think they get a win. But for a night, that was pretty fascinating with the San Francisco Giants and L.A. Back to the NBA. It was not a good day to be a Boston sports fan. The Yankees were thumping the Sox, and the Celtics were getting punched in the face by this rookie.
Gee, I was curious. The guy next to you is the first rookie since Tim Duncan to have 30 and 10 in a playoff game, and he surpassed Magic as the youngest guy to ever do that in a playoff game. I was curious what your thoughts are.
You did that? You wildin'?
Oh, everyone's wildin'. That was wild last night, and that was awesome. And look, I despise Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. I love Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers. And Nick Nurse challenged his team, the Sixers head coach, after that grotesque no-show on Sunday in Boston, and he said the effort was unacceptable. Well, Maxey was terrific, and Edgecombe was historic. And when you can move past Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Tim Duncan in any kind of category, it's next-level stuff. 30 and 10 from VJ Edgecombe. The youngest player ever with a 30-10 playoff game since Magic Johnson and LeBron James. The first rookie to have a 30-10 game since Tim Duncan in 1998. Listen, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to this series, Boston is going to win. Boston's the better team. I did pick the Celtics in 6, so I'm not surprised that you saw Philly get a game, and I think they're going to get another one. But I love what I saw from Maxey, love what I saw from Edgecombe, love what I saw from Nick Nurse. And I think that Philadelphia, if they would just get rid of Joel Embiid, who's way too comfortable losing, the future would be ridiculously bright for the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks are still licking their wounds from that awful choke job at the hands of the Hawks on Monday. Is Jalen Brunson feeling the pressure to right the ship in Game 3?
Definitely, it's on my shoulders. I'm not going to point fingers and say some people need to do that and this. It's on me to make sure I set the table. So I'll go back and I'll figure out what I need to do. We'll have conversations and we'll come back better for Game 3.
So here's what's interesting, I think, if you're a fan of the Knicks, right? You're feeling awful. You felt all day yesterday. You're walking around making a face like you just sucked on a lemon. Like it was, you feel like you're tired, you're angry, you're agitated. That was as bad a choke as you'll ever see, right? And then you sit down last night and you watch hoops and you see a bunch of upsets and great games. And you see what the Sixers did to Boston, which, by the way, matters. Because I think for a lot of Knicks fans, part of the fear was, okay, if we have to go 6 or 7 and the Celtics sweep the Philadelphia 76ers, well, that's going to be a big deal here moving forward into the second round. Knicks getting past Atlanta, that's not the standard. That's the expectation. Knicks need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals at a minimum for this to be considered a successful season. So when you start looking at the Knicks, I still think they're going to split in Atlanta. I still think they win this series in 6. And I think that last night with the Celtics-Sixers result helps New York in terms of at the end of the day, okay, this is going to be a situation where you believe that the Knicks are going to be in this series and bounce back and take care of business and handle both success and prosperity and adversity like great teams do during the gauntlet known as the NBA playoffs. Now, how vital is this? Well, let me just jog your mental Rolodex on something after Tom Thibodeau got fired. Do you remember the Knicks and Leon Rose got denied when they tried to hire Billy Donovan or interview Billy Donovan? Guess who's free? Billy Donovan. There was already, you have to make the Eastern Conference Finals no matter what, right? If you're Mike Brown. If for some reason Mike Brown loses in the first round or the second round, especially if he pulls that crap and garbage and nonsense of playing a lineup that never played together in the regular season in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, and you don't have Katz involved, and you don't have JB involved, do I think that there's a shot that Mike Brown loses his job after a year? Well, obviously, of course. They just fired Tom Thibodeau after he took the team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks get there for the first time in 2 decades. Still James Dolan at the end of the day. So, yes, anything is possible. Which, when you think about Billy Donovan, and our friend Colin Cowherd tweeted that he thinks that you're going to see Billy coaching somewhere in blue. So let me interpret that for you and give you a take. I think there are 3 options for Billy Donovan, who I do think is going to coach again. Number 1, he's coaching the Orlando Magic. And that, to me, checks a lot of boxes, makes sense. We'll see what happens tonight with Orlando and Detroit, what happens in the first round. But I do think, assuming that this basketball team in Orlando loses in the first round of the playoffs, I do think that we are looking at a coaching change in Orlando. The second option in blue, Florida. Now, how does the Florida job get open? Well, our friend Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports reported that if Steve Kerr calls it a career, leaves the Warriors, that Joe Lacob, the owner of the Warriors, is going to choose Todd Golden, the Florida coach, to be his next head coach, which makes sense for a few different reasons. Number 1, Golden's phenomenal. Number 2, where did he coach before Florida? University of San Francisco. They have a great relationship. Obviously, it's where the Warriors play. So there's that. And then, of course, team number 3 in blue. Just something to ponder. If Mike Brown doesn't get out of the first or second rounds and Billy Donovan's sitting there, I'll ask you this question. I'll ask Leon Rose this question. Who would you rather have coaching your team, Mike Brown or Billy Donovan? To the NFL, it's all about the draft, all about Jordan Tyson. Any ideas, Jordan, where you're going to land come Thursday?
Do you have any idea of where you might go tomorrow night?
Nah, I got just.
What do you think?
That's a good question. It's a blessing, so I'm going to take it as such. Yeah, SJ, the receiver coach, real cool. We sat there and talked for our meeting, and then I came back in there after we was all done for the day. So very, very cool dude. And SJ, I was watching some Garrett Wilson tape. He's an amazing player. So Definitely like the Jets. And Aaron Glenn, we had a nice conversation too. Very cool dude.
What do you think you could add to that team if you're picked to go there?
Yeah, they have a great receiver room. You also got Adonai Mitchell, who's a great player. I really loved him at a college out of Texas. So, yeah, definitely just have probably the best receiver room in the league, to be honest with you.
NFL Draft is one day away, and joining us right now, NFL Network superstar, the outstanding host of one of my favorite podcasts, NFL Daily, my guy, the great Greg Rosenthal. Greg, how are you?
Appreciate you. Jordan Tyson with the hot take there. Jets' best receiving room in the league. I like that.
I mean, that was something right there. Confidence is a great thing. All right, let's have a little fun. Day away from the draft. Do a little Schein 9 with my 9 burning questions. You ready?
Let's go.
Number 1. Who should the Jets take, Greg, at number 2?
Arvell Reese. I think this is clear. To me, if you're taking 2, you want a guy that you can imagine someday might be wearing one of those gold jackets. And to me, Arvell Reese is that guy among the options that they could take.
I gotta be honest, I don't even understand how anyone could argue anybody else, and I'm with you completely. And I think Reese has Micah Parsons only better written all over it. So we're on the same page. You got to start thinking about gold jackets, and if he's Micah Parsons, that would be great. All right, now to me, there's no such thing as too high in this fascinating draft when it comes to Jeremiah Love. I'm talking 3 to Arizona. I'm talking 4 to Tennessee. I'm talking 5 to the Giants. What's your take on Love, and where does he fit into this draft?
Okay, right now, I think he could go to Arizona, but at number 8. I really do believe the smoke, Adam, that Arizona is looking and could find a partner to get out of 8. Now, it might need Arvell Reese to fall past 2, and then maybe it's the Saints trading up for Arvell Reese, but they could be trading up for David Bailey as well. I think Love could fall all the way to about 8, where then Arizona would take him. Washington at 7, I also think is a good landing spot. But I'm with you. I'm not going to kill any team for taking him higher than that. The Giants at 5 would be fascinating after the Saquon Barkley, everything that went on with him and Joe Schoen.
All right, with that said, let's go number 3 right now. The Giants are at 5. The Giants are at 10. Give me the perfect draft in the first round for the New York Football Giants.
Okay, the absolute perfect draft, would be Reese falling to 5, and you get Reese and Downs. I think the realistic, very good draft, the one I gave him on my mock draft was Caleb Downs at 5 and Venga Ioane at 10. I really think they're going to take the top guard off the market at number 10 overall. That's one of my favorite, strongest take, feeling that they want to do that with John Harbaugh at number 10.
Give me the ideal scenario for the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, let's go Mansour Delane falls to them at 12, and then Dylan Tiedemann there at 20. But don't be surprised. I know you said one option, but I think Jordan Tyson at 12 could be a very realistic possibility, and then you maybe get Tiedemann at 20. So that's another one.
I think people are sleeping on the LSU corner. I think he's going to be a terrific pro, and corners go high in this draft. I think he'd be great in Dallas. Is Ty Simpson, Greg, a first-round quarterback?
No. I don't even think he's that close. I don't think in this draft he's going to be a second-round quarterback. I have him going to round 3.
Wow. And by the way, I said that. We're sharing a brain. We're on the same page. I don't even understand the conversation about Ty Simpson. So let's hit that for a second. If you were running the war room for all 32 teams, because I'm with you here, because I didn't see it in college. He's not a first-round guy or a second-round guy.
No, I think you either see a guy that's likely going to be a starter in the NFL or you're waiting until the middle of the 3rd round. I like Nussmeier as much, maybe a little bit more. His 2024 tape to me is more exciting than anything Ty Simpson put up.
I said the exact same thing about Nussmeier. If I'm doing a QB ranking, it's Mendoza, draw the line, Nussmeier number 2, Simpson's my number 3, so great minds obviously think alike. I am so fascinated by the Chiefs. I could see them going YOLO because they're never drafting this high in the draft. Trade up, trade down, let the draft come to them. What are you thinking with Andy Reid? Are we talking receiver? Are we talking corner? Trade up, trade down? What are you thinking?
I think they absolutely could trade up, maybe for Carnell Tate. Jordan Tyson is a possibility. If they stick and pick, I think it's going to disappoint a lot of Chiefs fans. I think it's going to be an offensive lineman. Maybe it's Spencer Fano. Maybe it's Ioane, who I mentioned. But I think Reed is thinking more offensive line if he sits there.
All right, California dreaming. It's not crazy to think that we're going to have a Rams-Chargers Super Bowl. So give me, as you see it, the best first-round picks for the LA teams.
Okay, I do think Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, would be a fascinating pickup for the Rams.
Yep.
In a class without a ton of blue-chip talent. I mean, man, his ceiling to me is sky high, and I think he's going to be better as a blocker than people think. I think with the Chargers, it's meat and potatoes. I like Caden Proctor filling in for them. He could be a big guard, kind of do what Mekhi Becton couldn't do, and then a little bit of a backup plan if either of those tackles don't stay healthy.
One of my favorite things about this draft, I think there are a bunch of teams at the bottom of the first round that are thinking about that next step towards a Super Bowl run, and they could take impact players in this draft that step in and make an immediate impact and help them take that next step. We could be talking about the Texans, the Bears, the Bills, the Niners. Give us your most fascinating team and fit that fits that bill when you look at the end of the first round.
I think it's Buffalo because of the expectations, because they're the favorites in Vegas to get out of the AFC in terms of the win total. And I look at more problems on their roster than I've seen in a long time. Cassius Howell's a name I'm kind of circling for those teams at the end of the first round. He is a pass rushing savant, and I know he's not going to be a rundown guy, but if you can get a guy coming off your bench to maybe get 7, 8, 9 sacks, he could help fill out that defense for Buffalo. But, man, they got a lot of needs right now. So they're a boom or bust team of all those groups.
All right, Greg, give me the hottest Greg Rosenthal draft take that nobody is talking about.
Okay, let's go that Casey Concepcion's going to be the best wide receiver in this class. You know, that he's got the highest ceiling. Why go with Chuck? He is always open. He's got some drops. You know who's had a lot of drops like in his career? Terrell Owens. That's a weird comp because he's a much smaller player.
But I get it. I like
drops. I can live with a few drops. I think this player is just absolutely sensational. Chiefs at 9 is where the possibilities start with him.
Wow. So I love that. By the way, I'm a Concepcion fan. I love that call. And Greg and Jordan Rodriguez are going to have a special NFL Daily Show tomorrow night on YouTube right after the first round. I'll be locked in. I always am. Can't wait to watch. Greg, you're the best. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate you.
Let's finish strong. That's my quarterback. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's terrific. Josh Allen banging the drum last night. I mean, the bang of the drum was intense and awesome. The crowd's going nuts. But the most important thing right there, it was the back pocket beer. That's the move. That's a terrific job, and it's hockey related, and he chugged it. And, you know, you think of some quarterbacks in the past who wouldn't do that. That was terrific stuff. Now, I still maintain the Sabres are going to beat Boston. I actually think, considering 15-year droughts, right, and for the most part, and they won game one, the Sabres did in come-from-behind fashion, majestic fashion. Tage had those goals late, and that was just incredible. They've been grossly outplayed at home. I think a change of scenery, they're the better team, compare and contrast to Boston. Going to Boston, it's going to help Buffalo. So I still believe the Sabres will be able to take care of business in this series against the Boston Bruins. Love that from our guy, Josh Allen. What are we betting tonight? How about the Pistons and the Magic? Under 218.5. Saw that in the New York Post this morning with our guy Eric Richter, who was all over it. He is a must-follow, by the way, on all social media. And I'm going to go with the Giants and the Dodgers over 7.5 runs. That's what we're betting on tonight. That right there, that's the show. If you missed any portion of it, do what I do. Just keep watching it over and over and over again. People are like, what are you doing on your phone? I'm watching Schein Time again on the New York Post Sports YouTube page and the California Post Sports YouTube page. All you got to do is search Schein Time. We're going to see you tomorrow live, 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on Schein Time.